Alright, hi. 62761 Underground Storage Tank 600 Release Detection Standards. General Storage Tank System shall have the method of combination for the method of release detection that can be detected in the new system if the renew any portion of the storage tank system is installed, calibrated, operated, maintained in accordance with the manufacturer instruction, including the routine maintenance and service check for the operability to ensure that the device is functioning as designed, meet the applicable performance and standard in Rule 62761 640. All manufacturer instruction performance of the claims manner of the determination described in the writing of the equipment the manufacturer installer shall be retained as long as the storage tank is used. Release detection response level shall be described in writing for each of the method and combination method of release detection used in the storage tank system. A release detection method shall be established and provided with all the storage tank system upon installation except otherwise specified in Rule 62761 600 640. In the release detection method, the combination of the methods used facility performed at least for the month, not exceeding 35 days, to determine if the release of the storage tank system has occurred at least once every month, but not exceeding 35 days. Any storage of the compartment of the storage tank that has been inspected with various shall be visually inspected in accordance with paragraph 62761 for 640E2, 2E. For a visual inspection is not required for the system components of the continuous monthly electronic release detection sensor continuous electronic leak detection devices shall be inspected proper operation on a monthly basis, and the inspection may consist of visual observation and remote verification of proper operation. Site suitable determination shall be performed at the underground storage system at the end of December 31st, 1998, in accordance with the paragraph 62, 761, 642, A through D. A, Florida Administration Code for the storage tank system using the groundwater vapor monitoring wells and release detection. If the site is suitable determination indicates on-site condition unit unsuitable for the external monitoring and other method of release detection must be used. Vapor monitoring plans shall be performed on December 31st, 1998 for underground storage systems in accordance with paragraph 62, 761, 642. D. Florida Administration storage tank systems that use the vapor monitoring release detection. Any component of the storage tank system secondary containment shall have an inter-SEAL monitoring method meeting the requirements of paragraph 62, 761, 643A. Florida Administration Codes. Pressurized piping, excluding the bulk product piping, should be equipped with a line detector that meets the standards of the paragraph 62, 761, 644A for the gravity piping system that are except for the requirement any storage tank system that is not provided with the method of combination method release detection in accordance with this section shall be closed in accordance with the rules and with subsection 62, 761, 80 of the Florida Administration Codes in the date upon the release of detection is to be provided with groundwater vapor monitoring well meets the standard of the external monitoring specified in paragraph 62, 761, 642, A through D, and there's no longer use of the release detection should be closed in accordance with subsection 62, 532, 504, and Florida administered by December 31st, 2010, while not meeting the standards shall be closed in accordance with the subsection 62, 532, 504, Florida Administration Code of December 31st, 1998, unless the wells are used in contamination assessment purposes specified in paragraph 62, 761, 602D. Florida Administration Code required the rules adopted by the county governor in accordance with the section 376, 317, but December 10th, 1990 vehicle petroleum storage tank systems greater than 550 gallons shall be provided with the release detection for all the storage tanks. Integral piping in contact with soil should be provided with the December 31st of the year shown in Table RD. Table RD shows the year tank system installed before 1970 unknown 1970 to 1970. Your release number year detection required for 1990 193. 1979 through 1979, 1980 for the 1990. P installation equals installation release detection pressurized piping. The RD with installed release detection tanking suction piping effective December 31st, the applicable year specified under the schedule of the table RD for the installation and release detection of tanks and suction pumps. Any ground monitoring plan with the preventing control countermeasure implemented on before December 26th of 1990 should be capable of detecting the leaking rate quantity specified in chapter 62, 761, 641A, Florida Administration Codes. Underground storage systems, storage tank systems are store fuel solely for the use of emergency power generators and required to comply with the release of the detection standards of Rule 62, 761, 600 through 762, 761, 640. Monitoring wells shall meet the standards of subsection 62, 761, 640, Florida Administration Code of December 31st, 1998. Well, those do not meet the requirements shall be closed in accordance with subsection 62, 532, 504, Florida Administration Code by December 31st, 1998, unless the wells are required with the rule adopted by the government in accordance with section 376, 317. However, this monitoring will be used solely for the purpose of monitoring petroleum contamination in accordance with the chapter of 62, 770 the Florida Administration Code well does not to be closed with the completion of the site rehabilitation pursuant to Chapter 677 770 or Florida Administration Code with the legal detection monitoring wells redesignated the sign assessment wells and facility owners of the operators should be colored black with a white circle and within the black background the diameter of the white circle show approximately one half the diameter of the manhole cover approximately 4 inches. Specific authority 376303 Florida State Law implemented 376303 376372 for State History News the December 10th 1990 formerly 17761 600 amended on July 13th 1998 and June 21st 2004. All right, 62, 761, 610, underground petroleum storage systems, underground storage systems, tank systems. General Category A and Category B says the release detection method should be owned. One of the methods specified in the section shall meet the performance standards contained by the Rule 62, 761, 740 for the administration. Go to Category C system release detection shall be either interstellar or visual monitoring secondary containment in accordance with Rule 62, 761, 674. Small diameter pressure piping shall have the line leak detector in accordance with the paragraph 62, 761, 640. 4A, the breach of integrity of the test shall be performed in every 5 years. The Category C storage tank systems will close interstitial space unless the test is continuous test. Category A and Category B underground storage tanks shall be equipped with one or more of the following release detection systems: A, interstellar monitoring between the walls of the double wall tank. Interstellar monitoring involving the single monitoring well vapor detector located with the linear meets the standards in paragraph 62, 761, 501D with the Florida Administration Code, provided with well detectors placed on a low point with the liner of the collected liquids will drain the monitoring point. A continuous operation release detection system placed around the type of the tank of the excavation secondary containment in accordance with the manufacturer requirements. A network of groundwater vaporing monitoring wells insulated verified in accordance with the paragraph 62, 761, 640, 2A and D, A through D. The Florida Administration Codes the applicable automatic tank gauge, the automatic tank gauge system with the tightness of the test of the shortage tank of the every 3 years, a continuous automatic tank gauge. Statistically, inventory reconciliation system of the tightness testing of the storage tank every 3 years. Manual tank engagement will be performed and specified in the table MTG in paragraph 62, 760, 640, 3C for the Florida Administration Code for the tanks 550 gallons or less nominal capacity, and for tanks 551 to 1,000 gallons with known diameters of 48 inches to 64 inches. Manual tank gauging may be used for the tanks 551 to 2,000 gallons nominal capacity, provided with the tank tightness is performed every 12 months if the tank is not protected with the corrosion. Of June 30th, 1992, every 5 years the tank is installed with the corrosion protection. Other tanks are upgraded with the corrosion protection. Of June 30th, 1992. However, the method is unavailable for the first 10 years after the tank is upgraded with the cathodic protection. Single wall corrosion protected tank is installed until December 22nd, 1998. Whatever is later annual tank of this conjunction with the inventory control performed in accordance with Rule 62, 761, 640 Florida Administration Codes. This method could only be used until 10 years after the dating installation. Single wall corrosion protected tank 10 years after the tank is upgraded with the corrosion protection internal lining. December 22nd, 1998. Whichever is less. Integral piping, small diameter piping in contact with the soil. Single walled piping that is in contact with the soil shall be equipped with one of the following release detection: suction gravity piping shall have an annual lining tightness test. External monthly monitoring release detection method moved meeting requirements subsection 62, 760, 642 Florida Administration Code is designed to detect discharge from any portion of the integral piping. 2. By December 31st, 1998, 1998. The pressure piping shall have the mechanical line detectors meeting the requirements of paragraph 62, 761, 640, 4A, Florida Administration Code, either in an annual line of tightness or external release detection method meeting the requirements of paragraph 62, 761, 640, 2A through D, Florida Administration Code electrical line detectors meeting the requirements of the paragraph 62, 760, 641A, the Florida Administration Code exemption release detection not required for the piping associated with suction pumps provided with a single check within installed but directly pumped below the sunk pump and the piping and slope, so the contents of the pipe will drain back into the tank if the suction is broken, where the verification shall be provided with the certified contractor that no check valve exists between the dispenser from the tank that above this criteria that meets with the subsequent modification of the piping involved. The disconnection should be rectified by the certified contractor for these conditions still be met. Manifold piping system, small diameter piping and not the contact with the soil there is exempt with the secondary containment. The system shall be visually inspected in accordance with paragraph 62, 761, 640, A2E. Small diameter piping secondary commitment with these contact with the soil, the double wall piping, the single wall piping secondary containment shall be equipped with the following release detection system: interstellar monitoring method of testing of the breaking integrity that meets the requirements of paragraph 62, 766, 43A2, Florida Administration Code Category C as applicable. The line detector that restricts and shut off the flow of the continuous operation interstellar monitoring device that meets the requirements of subparagraph 62, 761, 640, 4A5. Florida Administration Code for the pressurized pipe unconnected with the underground storage tank by December 31st, 1998. Bulk product and hydrant piping, single wall piping in contact with the soil shall be pressurized testing annual occurrence in accordance with the paragraph 62, 761, 645A. Florida Administration Code instead of annual testing monthly relief and detection system meeting with the requirements of subsection 62, 761, 642. Florida Administration Codes may be installed. Piping not in contact with the soil that exempt the secondary containment shall be visually inspected in accordance with paragraph 62, 761, 642E of the Florida Administration Codes. Piping secondary containment with the contaminate contact with the soil with the double wall piping and single wall piping with the secondary contamination shall be equipped with the following release detection system and interstellar monitoring, if applicable. The Category C system's method of testing the breaching integrity that meets the requirements of subparagraph 62, 761, 643A2. Florida Administration Code for piping and code interstitial spaces. Specific Authority 376303. Florida State Law implemented 376303. Florida State History December 10th, 1990. Formerly 17761 610. Amended September 30th, 1996 to June 13th, 1998 and June 21st, 2004. Alright, this one's wrong, so our performance status 62761640. Performance standard for the release detection method. General method of release detection shall be capable of detecting and releasing 0.2 of a gallon per hour with 150 gallons with 30 days with the probability detection 30 probability of the detection with the 0.9500 probability of false alarm 0.500. The exemption of the tightness testing requirements paragraph 62761 64035 3F of the subparagraph of 4B2 Civil Administration Code. Visual paragraph visual inspection paragraph 62 761 642E. Florida Administration Code groundwater vaporing monitoring subsection 62 760 642. Florida Administration Code manual tank of the gauging in paragraph 62 761 643C. Florida Administration Code with the exemption of bailers and monitoring wells be approved with accordance with the subsection 62 761 852 of the Florida Administration. They have to release the detection response described in writing for each of the method, combination method, release detection method, well construction method, monitoring well requirements. Monitoring wells should be constructed and installed with licensed water well when the requirement in chapter 62 531 with the Florida Administration monitoring wells should be a minimum of 2 inches entire interior diameter, be slotted for the bottom of the 2 feet below the ground surface. The minimum slot size is 0.1 of an inch. Backfill with the cleaning of the sand of the gravel filter back with the preventing backage of the slot. You construct and release the 40 PVCs without any joints and any other corrosion protected material be grouted into the borehole for the surface of the top of the filter plug with a unique cement grout or other equivalent materials. Grouting shall not exceed below the top of the well. Slotting bentonite slurry grouts should not be used. Using monitoring welding Using the monitoring well has ending with the exterior case be equipped with a minimum of 6 inches diameter manual hole designed to prevent water intrusion with 1 inch minimum grade increase with above the surface of the surrounding ground surface. The well opening shall be at least 1 inch above the bottom of the manhole. H. Be equipped with a watertight cap. The well should be kept locked, secured to prevent tampering at all times, except when the monitoring well is being sampled to maintain. The monitoring well should be marked in accordance with the API recommended in practice 1615, except no deeper than 20 feet below the ground surface. If the deep penetration of the confining layer between the excavation and the monitoring should extend no deeper than within 6 inches of the confining layer, as well as penetrate the confining layer, should immediately be properly abandoned in accordance with the Rule 62, 532, 500 of the Florida Administration Code. J. If installed with a secondary containment liner system extended no deeper than 6 inches from the line of the groundwater monitoring wells, should be extended with at least 5 feet between the normal groundwater surface level, be properly developed and licensed water well contractor before initial sampling. Vapor well monitoring shall be kept the requirements that are specified by the DEP's guidelines for vapor monitoring. Electronic sensors, probes, fiber optic systems shall be tested at least annually to verify the operating in accordance with the Department A approved with given pursuant to subsection 62, 761, 850. 2. Field Administration Codes. Groundwater vapor monitoring using the placement and center of the probes, vertical, horizontal, directional. Drilled wells and shall be designed and installed within accordance with the equipment approval of the system granted with the subsection 62, 67, 61, 850. Full Administration Code. B. Site suitable determination. Site suitable determination should be performed at each of the facility using groundwater vapor monitoring of the site. Suitable determination should be performed in accordance with the DEP's guideline for site suitable determination external monitoring by the professional geologist registered in the state of Florida. If not suitable for the external monitoring, another method of release detection must be used. The following facilities that have the Category A and Category B underground storage tanks are not required to perform these site-suitable determinations. Facilities located in the counties having the rules more stringent than the department as specified in Chapter 376, 317. B. The facilities of the monitoring well located with the tank of the excavation. Local demonstration can be made with the excavation containing sands, gravel, and backfill with the wells properly constructed with the installed with the backfill, groundwater, and monitoring. The regulated substance shall be immersible in water and have specific gravity less than 1 groundwater monitoring shall not be used for release detection free of the product stream, but discovered in monitoring well use. A site rehabilitation completion order has been issued to the department following the remediation of the free product stream, but there is no longer any free product of the monitoring well. The free product of the stream is not present, but to be observed with the well with the previous 30 months as the demonstrated record of at least 6 months of groundwater monitoring sample events with the previous 2 years. The system has been tested, tighted with the tank line piping system and another internal method of releasing detection performed in accordance with subsection 62, 761, 643. Florida Administration Codes. Another method of release detection specified in Rule 62, 761, 610 of the other groundwater monitoring should be used when there is less than 1 feet of the groundwater present in the water of the well. The groundwater level is above the slotted portion of the well. The record of the following information shall be maintained in accordance with the record, keeping the requirements from the date of the sampling, the date of the well, depth of the ground, any port, residence or order stored with the regulated substance, any sheen, the free product of the found with vapor monitoring. Vapor monitoring can only be used by the monitoring regulated substance sufficient volatile and detect the soils and groundwater. The vapor monitoring equipment. The measurement of the vapor monitoring shall not render inoperative the groundwater, rainfall, soil, moisture known interference with the discharge could undetected for more than 30 days. Sample equipment should be capable of detecting vapor concentration of 500 parts per million total petroleum hydrocarbons per measure for the flammable ionization detector for the storage tank that can contain gasoline equivalent petroleum substances. A vapor concentration of 50 parts per million total petroleum hydrocarbons measured with the flame ionization detector for storage tanks containing kerosene, diesel, and equivalent petroleum substances. Vapor concentration hazardous substance for the consistent that will indicate release. Vapor concentration tracer compounds used in release detection. Vapor monitoring shall not be used with release detection if existing contamination interferes with the ability to detect release. 5. The vapor monitoring shall be developed and performed with accordance with the DEP's guideline for vapor monitoring. The plan should include the description man wells or probe with the method, sampling, established release detection, response level, data management procedures. This facility wells located in the tank of the excavation do not have the meet of the requirement of the DEP's guidelines for site suitable determination for external monitoring, provided that the demonstration could be made with the excavation contains with the gravel backfill that was properly constructed with the installed with the backfill. Visual inspection. Any visual inspection storage tank system in the secondary containment reveals the sign of the corrosion, cracks, the storage damage, the leakage, or other similar problems should be noted, and repairs should be made in accordance with the requirements of the Rule 62, 761, 700 Florida Administration Codes. Internal release detection method. Internal STL monitoring for the underground storage tanks. interstitial monitoring for the double-walled tanks, double-walled integral piping, dispensing liners, pumping sumps, other secondary containment systems shall be designed and constructed to allow the monitoring of the space between the primary and secondary containment. One or more of the following methods interstellar monitoring should be used: manual sampling, visual monitoring for the liquids, continuous electronical sensing equipment, hydrostatic monitoring system, or vacuum monitoring. Breaches: 2. Breach of integrity for the test of the category C system. The test is performed with the breach of integrity of the interstice, the double wall underground storage tanks, the double walled integral piping, the contact with the side soil connected with the underground storage tank, the piping, the some dispenser lines with not required to perform the breach of the integrity. Test shall be performed in determining the integrity of the inner outer wall is required only for the tank's integral piping. The closed interstitics does not apply to the open interstice system with liners. Tests should be performed in the time of the installation every 5 years from the date of the installation, unless the test is continuous test. If the underground storage tank is totally submerged with the groundwater, monthly monitoring of the interstice with the presence of the water shall be conducted. The breach of integrity may be performed using at least one of the following methods: a continuous hydrostatic system approved by the Department in accordance with the Section 62, 761, 852 Florida Administration Code. A continuous vacuum system pursuant to 62, 761, 643A that is approved by the Department in the accordance with the subsection 62, 760, 852 Florida Administration Code. Testing with the interstice is the liquid tightness in accordance with the manufacturing, installation, instruction, and other methods in accordance with subsection 62, 761, 852 with the Florida Administration Code. Vacuum monitoring with the interstice, whether it shall meet the following requirements: liquid-filled gases, air-filled gauges shall be calibrated in accordance with the National Institute of Standard Technology. The gauges shall be operational at all times. Vacuum monitoring may be used continuous method of release detection provided with the vacuum system is equipped with the audible visual alarm. Our alarm should indicate the minimum vacuum level allowed each reader to reach, and provided with the equipment improved with the granted in accordance with Section 62, 761, 852 the Florida Administration Code. Vacuum readings should be recorded monthly, and upon the discovery any significant vacuum level decrease, any less loss vacuum exceeding 20% of the initial level, any loss of excessive levels established with the test protocols provided with the third-party certification of the test method. The tank manufacturing shall be conducted contact with the vacuum refresh in accordance with the storage tank system equipment approval of the subsection 62, 761, 852, and the loss of the vacuum permits an investigation shall be initiated with the indecent report in accordance with subsection 62, 761, 452. The source of the loss shall be prepared in the accordance with the Rule 62, 761, 700 Florida Administration Codes. Alright, for interstellar monitoring storage tank, the interior piping with liners being designed with the construction to allow the monitoring space between the primary and secondary containment shall be capable of detecting, releasing the inner walls, interstice construction been installed with the groundwater, rainfall, the water, soil, moisture, rendering the test and sample method of using an operative to be equipped with external release detection method, the meeting standard paragraph 62, 761, 642A through D Florida Administration Codes to the groundwater level excavation zone assessment requirements be visually inspected in accordance with paragraph 62, 761, 642E Florida Administration Code to be equipped with the monitoring device approved in accordance with subsection 62, 761, 852, and Florida Administration Code installed with the monitoring point with the liner inventory control. General inventory control shall be maintained for each of the single wall tank for the containing the vehicle or fuel. Storage tank that is secondary containment that are exempt from the inventory control requirements. Inventory control of the underground storage tank shall be performed in accordance with the API recommended standards 1621 as applicable. Manifold tanks may be treated with a single tank with the purpose of the inventory control. Inventory control shall be performed with the following manner: the volume of the measure of the product inputs, withdrawals, the amount of the remaining of each of the tanks shall be recorded in each of the operating day. Measurement of the product levels shall be recorded for the nearest 1/8 of an inch of the product input for the reconciled with the delivery receipt of the measure of the tank product volume before after the delivery. Product dispense shall be metered as required with the Chapter 525, 531, and the Florida State Statute in accordance with the standards established in Florida Department of Agricultural Consumer Services, Chapter 5, F2. The measurement of water level in the bottom of the tank shall be made at least once a week at the nearest 1/8 of an inch, and the significant loss of the gain of the product shall be calculated each of the inventory control of the underground storage tank. The water fluctuation exceeding one of each of the not attributed to the delivery shall be investigated with the following manner: acceptable parts of the storage system shall be inspected for the dimensions of openings. Release detection shall be checked with the sign of the discharge. If the within the week of the investigation does not reveal the source water fluctuation, entire storage tank shall be tested in accordance with the subsection 62, 761, 643. Investigation proceeds significant loss or gain. Investigation shall be initiated immediately, determining the source of the significant loss or gain. The entire storage tank, excluding the vent, but including the pipe connection, remote fill lines, should be tested and inspected to determine if the site is properly product tight, and the investigation shall continue until the source has been found using the following investigation procedures. Inventory records should be checked for errors of arithmetic data, recording, and measurement. If the significant loss of the game, the reconcilable cannot be affordable demonstrated as a result of the theft. Accessible parts of the storage system shall be checked for the damage or leak. Release detection system shall be checked for the signs of discharge. Calibration for the inventory measuring the system. Dispensing system shall be verified. If the investigation does not reveal the source of significant loss or gain within 1 week of the underground storage system, the Department of the County determines the necessary investigation based on the evidence. The significant loss or gains could result in potential harm to the environment of the storage tank system that shall be tested in accordance with the manufacturer guidelines if applicable with the subsection 62, 761, 640, 3 and 4 Florida Administration Code. This discards the leaking of the defective component of the storage tank shall be repaired in accordance with the Rule 62, 761, 700. The storage tanks cannot be repaired if it should be closed in accordance with subsection 62, 76, 80, 802. See the manual tank gauge. Manual tank gauging for tanks of 2,000 gallons less containing regulated substances shall meet the following requirements. The tank liquid measurement shall be taken within the beginning and the ending of the period within 36 hours to 58 hours, according to the table MTG. With no liquid added with removed from the tank, level measurement shall be based on the average of 2 consecutive stick readings of taken both in beginning and end of the period. The equipment should be used the capable measuring level product with the full range of the tank height and nearest to that 1/8 of an inch. Reading exceeding the standard described in the table MTG shall investigate it in accordance with Rule 62, 761, 820 Florida Administration Codes. Table MG shows the nominal tank capacity, minimum duration test weekly, 1 standard, monthly standard, average for 4 tests, 550 gallons or less, 36 hours, and 10 weeks standard, 10 gallons in weeks, 1 tested, and measured monthly standard, average 4 tests, 5 gallons, 551 to 1,000 gallons, 44 minimum duration tests, 9 gallons per weekly standard, and 4 gallons monthly standard, average test for 555 on 100 gallons tank, diameters 40 inches, 58 hours, 12 gallons and 6 gallons. 551 to 1,000 gallons tank diameter, unknown, 36 hours, 13 gallons weekly tested standard, 7 gallons monthly tested average. 1,001 to 2,000 gallons, 36 hour minimum, 26 gallons and 13 gallons. Automatic tank gauge system. Automatic tank gauge system that do not analyze the data since a continuous manner shall be placed in test mode at least once every 30 days. The automatic tank gauge system should continuously analyze the data. Electric system shall be operated with continuous test noted that all time should be provided with the test result daily. Statistical inventory reconciliation. Statistical inventory reconciliation shall be conducted in accordance with the following requirements. Data submitted with the state inventory reconciliation analysis be gathered in accordance with the requirements of subparagraph 62, 761, 640, 3E, 1 through 5, Florida Administration Code. Result of each of the monthly analysts must include the calculated result with the data sets with the leaks threshold, minimum detectable leak rate, the calculated leak rate, determine whether the result of the test was pass or fail or inconclusive. The purpose of the section leak threshold and define with the specific leak threshold the statistical inventory reconciliation method approved in accordance with the subsection 62, 761, 852. The release detection level specified in paragraph 62, 761, 641A. Florida Administration Code 3. The pass means the calculated leak rate with the data set with the least of the leak threshold. The minimum detected leakable rate is less than or equal to certified performance of 2.2 of a gallon per hour. The fail means the calculated leak rate of the data is equal to the greater than the leak threshold. Inconclusive means the minimum detectable leak rate exceeds the certified performance of standard 0.1 of a gallon per hour. Calculated leakage rate is less than the leak threshold for any of the reasons the test result with the pass or fail to result in an inconclusive incident. Notification shall be submitted with the county and monthly statistical inventory report. A report of a fail received. The indication notification shall be submitted with the county and receive the 2 consecutive monthly statistical inventory reports. Inconclusive investigation performed in accordance with the incident response requirement when specified in Rule 62, 761, 820. However, it is ended with the 14th day of the investigation provided with the section 62, 761, 821 Florida Administration Code statistical inventory data with the report data the previous month is still inconclusive. Tightness test of the system shall be performed. Alright, 8. A data point shall consist of at least one of the value gathered over the time of the period exceeding 35 days. A minimum of 20 data points over 35 days shall be calculated with a leak of the rate unless the vendor of the statistical inventory report system improved under the subsection 62, 761, 852 of the Administration Codes have provided with the third-party determination lesser number of the data points capable of detecting release of 2 tenths of the gallon per hour or 150 gallons within 150-day probability or 30 days probability detection of 95% probability of false alarms, 5%. 5% result of the monthly evaluation recorded with the 62, 761, 907, and another similar would provide the same information. These forms shall be kept in accordance with the Rule 62, 761, 710 for Administration Code tightness testing. Tightness testing for all the tanks shall be capable of detecting 1/10 of the gallon per hour with a leak rate of probability detection of 95% or a probability of false alarm of 5%. Any portion of the tank of the tightness least testing shall account for the effect of the thermal expansion, contraction, regulated substance, vapor pockets of tank formation and evaporation, condensation, location of water and tank table. If any of the volumetric testing tightness conducted with the lower level of overfilling the protection device setting point and the non-voltric testing should be used, but they use the test ullage portion of the tank of the volumetric test. If any of the volumetric tank test is conducted with the lower level of the overfill, the protection side of the one of the non-volumetric test should be used. The test the ullage point of the tank of the volumetric test can be conducted, but that must be minimum pressure differential plus with the minimum of 1 psi or pound square inch gauge. The measure for the bottom of the tank between the bottom product of the hydrostatic pressure inside of the tank of the hydrostatic pressure due to the external water table. Using the method positive fields of verification, the depth of the water table must be performed. Minimum liquid level of the product in the tank shall be at least 30% of the tank capacity provided with a third-party evaluation. The test method verifies the detection capability of this level of the water table on depth that cannot be verified. Minimum liquid level of the volumetric testing should be 65% of the tank capacity. Tank tightness that show the test shall be performed in accordance with Chapter 4 of the NFPA 329. Overfilling protection spill contamination device shall be inspected with the tightness and testing performed to ensure that these devices do not interfere with the testing, and after the test ensure that the device is operating properly. For smaller diameter integral piping of the contact with the soil line detectors for the underground storage tank, line detectors shall be capable of detecting discharge of 3 gallons per hour. The probability detection of 95% probability of false alarm, 5% line pressure for the 10 psi for 1 hour. Have an annual testing operational leak detector conducted in accordance with manufacturer requirements, and an individual certified with the trained manufacturer to determine whether the device's function is designed. Remote testing leak detector can be performed manufactured with the remote test above approved under section 62, 761, 852. Restrict flow with the 1 hour designed with the mechanical flow restriction. For when discharged with 3 gallons is detected, shut off the power with the pump designed with the automatic electronic shut off. When the test mode of the line detector's automatic electronic shut off, you'll always be able to detect the discharge of the 2.1 of a gallon line pressure for the 150% operating pressure equivalent leak rate with the probability of detection with 1 month period with less than the 95% and the probability of false alarm 5%. The discharge of 2.1 of the gallon is detected. Leak detectors are provided with the audible and visual alarms that can be clearly heard by the scene of the operative facility if monitored remotely on the real-time basis, with the alarm of the condition immediately transmitted with the remote location of the facility operator. 5. Instead of using the line detector method, relays detection pressure out of the small diameter associated with the double-walled integral piping. The continuous operational terrestrial monitoring device can be used for the continuous operation. Terrestrial devices should be capable of detecting and releasing 10 gallons within 1 hour of shutting off the pump. Tightness testing. The tightness testing pressurized pipes in contact with the soil can be capable of detecting 1/10 of the gallon per hour of the leak weight, 1.5 of the operating pressure for the probability detection of 95, the probability false alarm 0.5. Bulk product piping. Annual testing should be performed in single wall product piping in contact with the soil. Prior testing the piping in the system with leak tight and evaluation exposed to the components shall be performed with the visual inspection and other methods approved by the department in accordance with the Rule 62, 761, 850 for the administration code. The evaluation shall be verified and recorded. One of the following methods should be used with the annual test of bulk product piping test approved in accordance with the subsection 62, 761, 852. The API or recommended practice 1110 hydrostatic tests or ASME B31.4 hydrostatic test. Double-walled bulk petroleum bulk product hydrant piping and other bulk piping equipped with secondary contamination shall have the method of release detection testing breaching integrity that meet the requirements of paragraph 62, 761, 643, A2 or the 4 or 4 Float Administration Codes applicable. The record of all the test results should be maintained in accordance with the appendix test records, API recommended practice 1110 and chapter 5 of the ASM B314 applicable pursuant to subsection 62, 761, 710, 1 Float Administration Codes. The specific authority 376.303 with the Florida implemented 376.303 with the Florida history new of the December 10th, 1998, formally 17.761.640, amended the September 30th, 1996, July 13th, 1998, and June 21st, 2004. Alright, that concludes the 640. Repairs and operation maintenance of the storage tank, cleaning. The general repairs of the repairs should be performed in the component with the storage tank system discovered for the discharge rated with the discharge regulated substance release with the regulated substance secondary containment, the pressure of the groundwater intersize with the double-walled out underground storage tank with the pipe, and then an operational structural point with the component could potentially result in discharge release if the repairs required for the component of the part of the storage tank of the nature of the repair activities of the condition of the component of the part of the system requiring with the repair of the may result with the release of the component of the part cannot be otherwise insulated with the system in the storage tank system should be made to taken out of the operation until the tank has been removed or replaced. The restriction or against the storage tank that the operation shall not be applied with the storage containing with the heating oil, other fuels are used in the solely generation capacity of the removal of the storage system for the service result in shutdown of the electrical generation units served by the system. Repairs should be made in the manner to prevent the discharge of the structural failure, corrosion, remaining operational life of the storage tank system in accordance with the manufacturer specification NFPA 330 with the applicable reference standards to restore the structural integrity of the storage tank system. The components with the tightness tested, pressure tested, and tested for the breach integrity as applicable before being placed back into service. Repairs of fiberglass reinforced plastic steel tanks coated with the fiberglass reinforced plastic composite should be made with the authorized representative of the tank manufacturer in successful in accordance with the subsection 671-503 Florida Administration Codes. Piping the damage has occurred caused the discharge regulated substance was to be placed in the piping section. Fighting may be in accordance with the applicable standards section 761-508. The replacement of additional hosings for piping in contact with the soils are exempt with the requirements of standard secondary containment, provided with the piping does not have the will not have a secondary containment until the deadline established in Rule 62, 761, 510 with the Florida Administration Code. Length of the replacement additional piping is less than 25% of the total length of existing integral piping line for the individual tank of 100 or 100 feet or whatever. The less cathodic protection system should be installed with the operated, maintained, and provided with the continuous corrosion protection for the metal components of these portions of the tank integral piping in the contact with the soil inspection and testing requirements. General storage tanks equipped with the type of the cathodic protection must be inspected with the tested corrosion professional cathodic protection tester within 6 months installation repair at least every year, but thereafter in accordance with the criteria of the NASA International Recommended Practice 0716996 of the Recommended Practice 0282595 as applicable. The factory installed with the galvanic cathodic protection system may be tested every 3 years. Impressed current system with the storage tank system when impressed with the current system shall be inspected with the intervals not exceeding 2 months. All sorts of impressed current shall be inspected with every proper function of the current output, normal power consumption, single indication, normal operation, satisfactory electrical state with protected structure. Impressed current system and operative with the cumulative period exceeding 1,440 hours that should be assessed with the corrosion professional to ensure that the storage tank is structural sound but free of the corrosion holes and operating in accordance with design criteria. C. The structural anoid system, the structural tank system, sacrificial anoids shall either permanent testing station so of the structure tangible measure for the temporary field of the station. The annual testing in accordance with subparagraph 62, 76, 701 B2A Florida Administration Code. 3. Storage tanks with the cathodic protection system that cannot achieve the maintained protecting levels in accordance with the designation criteria shall be repaired in accordance with subparagraph 762, 761, 701B2A with the Florida Administration will be placed out in accordance with subsection 762, 761, and 801. Florida Administration will record continuous operation and press the current system with all cathodic protection and inspection testing equipment shall be made in accordance with paragraph 62, 761, 701B. Operational maintenance, spill contamination devices, the dispenser liners, piping shall be made to provide an excess monthly examination water removal necessary with water collected with the spill contaminates the device. Piping sump of the dispenser lines is above the opening of the integral piping connection. Regulated substances collected in these storage tanks. The components shall be removed either by the reused or properly disposed of. The owner operation ensure the volume available for the tank is greater than the volume regulated substances to be transferred before the transfer is made. They shall ensure the transfer repeatedly monitored to prevent overfilling of the spill. 3 release detection devices shall be tested annually to ensure the proper operation of the test should be conducted in accordance with the manufacturer's specifications. Shall include the minimum determination whether the device operation is designed. Petroleum contact water from the storage tanks shall be managed in accordance with the Chapter 62, 740 of the Florida Administration Code. Regardless of the method, release detection used of the inventory control shall be performed. The underground storage tank for continuing vehicle or fuel does not have secondary containment. One of the following methods of inventory control shall be used. Inventory control in accordance with the 62, 760, 643B of the Florida Administration Code. Statistical environmental reconciliation in accordance with the paragraph 62, 761, 643E. Automatic tank gauging in accordance with paragraph 62, 761, 643D. Florida Administration Code. Multiple tank gauging in accordance with 62, 761, 643C. Single wall storage tanks that have been upgraded cathodic protection internal lining before 30th of 1992 of June may be repaired in accordance with the section until the storage tank system is upgraded with the secondary containment with accordance with Rule 62, 761, 510. Storage tank system with secondary containment may be repaired in accordance with this section at the time of during the operational life of the storage tank system. The tank shall be tightness tested before the place of the back end service unless otherwise another test method is approved in accordance with subsection 62, 761. 852 Florida Administration Code. Small diameter piping testing is testing before the placing back in the series or if whether the dispenser contacting the pipe is replaced whenever the piping has been disconnected then reconnected. For the tanks prepared for the internal lining is installed in accordance with the API recommendation. Practice 1631 documentation is available for installer that demonstrates the requirements that have been met within 10 years of the installation. Internal lining every 5 years thereafter. The internal line tank with inspection internal in accordance with the NLPA. 631 Chapter B with the file with the structural sound with the internal lining sealed performing in accordance with the original design specification required for the original design specification in accordance with the API recommended practice 631. If the tank fails to meet these criteria, the owner and the operator close the storage tank in accordance with subsection 62, 761, 802. Evaluation in accordance with the ASTM designation East S4094 determine the corrosion professional to be suitable for the installation. Cathodic protection determination made with the suitability. Cathodic protection shall be designed by a corrosion professional and installed with a certified contractor operating in accordance with Rule 62, 761, 500 Florida Administration Code. If the system is determined unsuitable, it goes in accordance with the subsection 62, 761, 802 and the tightness and testing in accordance with subsection 62, 761, 643 Florida Administration before the tank is placed back in the service every 5 years after the installation of the internal lining. The tanks must be repaired. Internal lining, cathodic protection, internal lining is installed within accordance with the API recommended practice 1631. Cathodic protection system meets the requirements of paragraph 62, 761, 501A and 2B, D, B through D, Florida Administration Code. The tightness meets the requirements of the subsection 62, 761, 643 as performed before the tank is placed back in the service every 5 years after the installation. Internal lining, the underground storage tank of the category A, there were upgraded internal lining with cathodic protection both in the stop shall be internally inspected for tightness and required as applicable in accordance with the subparagraph 62, 761, 702C2. Florida Administration Code Specific Authority 376, 303, Florida State Law implemented 376, 303, Florida State History News. March 12, 1991, formerly 17, 761, 700, amended September 30th, 1996, July 13th, 1998, and June 21st, 2004. Alright, 62761 underground storage tanks, petroleum underground storage tank 710 record keeping. All records should be dated and maintained permanently in the format available for the inspection department of the county. The records should not be kept in the facility, but they should be made available to the facility and other agreed upon location within 5 working days. Site associated with the facility should provide with the compliance inspection conducted with reasonable times. Record and filing required to be kept within 2 years. Measurement of the reconciliation of inventory applicable to reoperation. Prayer operation maintenance records, relays detection, including the electronic testing results regarding with the frequency, monthly visual inspection performed in accordance with paragraph 62, 761, 648, 2E, Florida Administrative Code. The presence of regulated regulated substance in order to machine and free the product, which shall be recorded for each of the sample event. D, the release, the detection response levels, description, and copy of all the test data resulting from the gathering, the tightness test, pressure test, breach with integrity test, the same name of the type of the test approved by the Rule 62, 761, 850, Certification Financial Responsibility Form 62, 761, 900, record of the type of the fuels stored in per tank. The repair and replacement gasket valve, packing the valve flanges, connecting, disconnection, fitting the bulk product with the piping, the repair plate, and performed response with the discharge or loss of regulated substance recorded with the following generated with Rule 13, 1988. It shall be maintained for the life of the storage tank system, result in internal inspection, non-destructive testing. Any performance claim with the release of detection equipment described in the writing of the equipment manufacturer installed the records, storage and system installer replacement upgrades for record installation, maintenance, inspection, test audit, cathodic protection system in accordance with the NACE standard site suitability determination in accordance with subsection 62, 761, 640, Florida 2, Florida Administration Code, vapor monitoring plans, all records kept in pursuant with the plan closure assessment plan, reports location continuous of facilities, and verification certified contractor existence with a single check valve beneath the suction pump with the suction pipe system. Alright, we're on 800. They should be 820, 850, and 900. Alright, out of service and enclosure requirements, out of service the storage tank system, the general with the storage tank system, take out of the service defined in sales section 62, 761, 240, Florida Administration Code, continue operate and maintain the corrosion and protection with the accordance with the paragraph 62, 761, 701B of the Florida Administration Code, performance external release detection for the sites without contamination is applicable to every 6 months according with the provision of subsection 62, 761, 642, the Florida leave vent lines open with function empty the assigned system and the camp and the secured all lines with pumps and ways auxiliary equipment is applicable to secure the closure of the systems outside of the access. If the storage tank system is required to upgrade during the time that it is out of service, it should be upgraded and replaced in accordance with the chapter before the return service. System and secondary containment installed with the operator with accordance with the chapter will remain in continuous operate out of service status for the 10 years at this period. The system will be returned for the service and closed in accordance with the chapter 62, 761, 802 Florida Administration Code, tightness, pressure, other tests performed in accordance with subsection 62, 761, 643 Florida Administration Code applicable any system that has been returned to the service before the return service. The following tests should be performed in accordance with subsection 62, 761, 643 Florida Administration Code for the system that is taken out of service for more than 100 days. A tightness test of the single wall system, the breach integrity test of the double walled category C system, single wall system that are taken out of service shall not be kept out of the service longer than 2 years. The corrosion protected the system, 1 year with the unprotected barrier system. After each end of the time of the period, the system shall either be unupgraded and permanently closed. Closure store tank system general. The closure storage tank system shall be performed by 1, removing the liquids, accumulated sludges, disconnecting the cap, and removing integral piping main ways that shall be secured and prevented access. Close the storage tank system in accordance with the paragraph 62, 761, 802B Florida Administration Code applicable to conducting closure assessment in accordance with the subsection 62, 761, 803. After closure, the storage tank system will be used for the stored material substances, other regulated substances in accordance with applicable Department of Reference standards. For the example, the API 1604, the operator advised other federal, state, and local requirements may apply with the activities monitoring wells associated with the closed system that are not being used for release detection for the site assessment purposes shall be in accordance with the paragraph 62, 761, 601K. Facility for Florida Administration Codes. Unmaintained system shall be maintained closed within 90 days of the discovery system. Removal of the closure and place disposal shall be performed in accordance with the API recommended practice 1604 and National Fire Protection Agents Association 30. Be certified contracted system removed from the ground unless it is closed with the place and filling with the solid inner material sufficient density preventing the structural collapse of the closed system. A closure assessment of the storage tank system at the time of the closure replacement, installation, secondary containment, changes in the surface regulated substance of the non-regulated substance assessment shall be performed to determine the discharge of the system. The system components has been occurred with the site rehabilitation completion order. The monitoring only plan approved order has been issued with the Department of Containment. The area site of the closure assessment shall be performed over any subsequent storage tank system removal, replacement, installation, secondary containment, tank pipes, other system components in the contact with the soil of any of the site subject to the closure assessment requirements. All right, closure assessment is not required. Site documentation requiring with the site assessment in accordance with Chapter 62, 7710, including those eligible for the early detection incentive program, the Florida Department of Liability Restoration Insurance Program, and the Petroleum Cleaning Participation Program pursuant to Section 3763071, 3763072 Florida State statutes. Nevertheless, documentation procedure filed with the result obtained during the closure shall be reported in limited disclosure summary report form 62 761 908 in accordance with the Section A of the DEP storage tank system closure assessment requirement system initially installed with the secondary equipment containment provided with the unexplained positive response for the interstellar release detection device method occurred during the operational life system. Secondary containment of the being of the breach integrity test of the pressure prior to the closures. 3. The system upgrade with the containment that have been closed in terrestrial space with the closed assessment performed prior to the installation. Secondary containment provided with the secondary containment path for the breach integrity test is according to the paragraph C 62 761 643A. Closure assessment and sampling analysis should be conducted according to the DEP storage tank system closure assessment requirements. Closure assessment report shall be submitted with the county with the 60 days of completion of any of the activities listed in paragraph 62, 761, 803A. But the report shall include the same sample type, sample location, measure methods, and site map of the methods maintaining the quality assurance quality control analytical results of during the obtained the assessment in accordance with the DEP storage tank system closure assessment requirements for person of the contaminated soil excavated with disposed and stockpiled on the site during the closure of the storage tank. The system was regulated with Chapter 62, 770 Florida Administration Codes, Specific Authority 376303, Florida State Law 376303, Florida State History, December 10th, 1990, formerly 17761, 800 amended September 30th, 1996, July 13th, 1998, and June 21st, 2004. 800, we are 800, 825, 850. Incident and discharge response. Incident response. If an incident occurs with the facility, action shall be taken promptly. Investigate the incident. Determine if the discharge occurred with the notification. Incident shall be sent with the county form 62 761 906. The discharge shall be reported in accordance with the subsection 62 761 453 of the Florida Administration Code during the investigation and incident investigation. If the investigation incident was not discharged with written confirmation explanation submitted with the county tax result, the reports will support the findings should be maintained on the site of the records of investigation will be completed within 2 weeks of the day of the discovery of the incident. At the end of the time, the period of the either discharge report from written the confirmation explanation with the release will not discharge shall be submitted to the county. Any spill of loss with regulated substance in secondary containment shall be removed within 3 days of the discovery discharge response. If the discharge is regulated substance of occurred with facility, action shall be taken immediately. Contain, remove, and abate the discharge under applicable department rules. And so, for example, Chapter 62 770 62 770 petroleum containment site cleanup of the owners, the operators of the device, other federal, state, and local requirements may apply with the activities contaminated present and the subject the provision with Chapter 62 770 with the corrective action including the free product recovery shall be performed in accordance with this chapter. When the evidence discharged of the storage tank system is discovered, reported in accordance with subsection 62 761 453 of the following actions shall be taken if source of the cause of the discharge known. The discharge shall be investigated in accordance with the NFPA 329 Chapter 3 and 5. The regulated substances shall be removed from the system necessary to prevent further discharge. Environmental notice will need to be taken system out of service. The emergency basis shall be made with the county in accordance with the subsection 62 761 451 Florida Administration Codes. Fire, explosion, and vapor hazards should be identified and mitigated. The system should be repaired in accordance with the Rule 62, 761, 70. If the system cannot be repaired, it still be closed in accordance with the subsection 62, 761, 802. The system shall be tested and the Department of the County determines that there shall be the failure to comply with the release detection requirements of Rule 62, 761, 600, and 63, 64. 40. The recent detection device weld method indicated the discharge of regulated substance has occurred. The discharge was not previously reported. Groundwater contamination not associated with previous known contamination presents vicinity of the system. The system is likely to be sure source of the contamination with 3 days. In 3 days, the discovery discharge the following steps is initiated. The test of the system in accordance with subsection 62, section 61, 643. Thus necessary to confirm the discharge and found with the B leaking placement of the system out of service in accordance with subsection 62, 761, 801 until repair, replace, and close contaminated soil excavated and disposed and stockpiled on site during the closure of the storage tank system shall be managed in accordance with the Chapter 62770 Florida Administration Code, Specific Authority 376303, Florida State Law implemented 376303, Florida State History, December 10th, 1990, formally 17761-820, amended September 30th, 1996, July 13th, 1998, and June 21st, 2004. Alright, now we're going to go to 850. Two sections left. Alternative requirements, equipment approval. The alternative requirements, any person of the subject of the provision of the chapter may request the written determination of secondary designing for the requirements of the chapter should not apply to the regulated storage tank systems and facility. Should request approval of the alternative procedure for the requirements of the request shall set forth the minimum of the following information: specific storage tank system facilities within the exemption sought with the specific provision of the chapter 6G761 for the exemption of the sought, but the base of the exemption. The alternative procedure requirement for the which of the approval is sought. The documentation demonstrated the alternative procedure requirements provided with the equivalent greater degree protection on land, surface water, groundwaters, and the state established requirements, and the documentation demonstrated the alternative procedure requirements with less effective than established in procedure requirements. The alternating procedure requirements is not able to sought with the under the subparagraph 5 and 6 of the documentation demonstrated the special provision in the chapter with the exemption sought with the imposed regulatory costs on the energy regulated entity that can be reproduced through the approval of less costly and regulatory alternative requirement that provides with a subsequent equivalent degree of the prevention of the land and surface waters, groundwaters, and the state with the established requirements. Within 60 days to receive the request for the approval of the alternate procedure requirement, the department shall above the request to notify the responsible party in written that the required does not demonstrate the requirements of subsection 6U761-851 for the Administration Code. The Secretary second shall specify by order alternate procedure requirements approved for the individual storage tank system facility in accordance with the rule. Shall issue an order to deny the request for such approval. The department order shall be the agency reviewable in accordance with subsection 12569, 125.7. The provisions of this rule do not include the use of any other applicable relief provisions. Equipment approval, storage tank system equipment used in the state of Florida must have the approval of the department before installation with use of the exemption of the dispensers, disposer, inline and inside outlets, nozzles, hoses, monitoring well barriers, manhole fill boxes, valves, cathodic protection testing, metallic bulk product piping, 7 diameter piping the contact with the soil unless piping extends over the surface of waters, 8 vent lines. B, the equipment approval of the request is submitted with the department to demonstrate from the equipment will be provided with the equivalent protection meet the appropriate performance standards contained with the chapter. The approval of the denials received the other state shall be included. Approval of the request the department the third party the demonstration recognized laboratory shall be submitted to the department. The application of third party demonstration shall be provided a technical evaluation of the equipment. The test results verifying that the equipment will function as designed. The professional certification equipment meets the performance standards contained with Rule 62-761 500 Florida Administration Code. The written 60 days received the request for the approval. The department shall approve the request, notify the responsible party, and writing the request does not demonstrate the requirements of subsection 6761 852 Florida Administration codes are met. The secretary designee shall specify by order and each equipment approval is approved in accordance with which rules and shall issue the other order denied the request of such approval. The department order shall be an agency action reviewable in accordance with section 12569, 125.7 Florida Specific Authority 376303, Florida State Law implemented 376303, Florida State History News, December 10th, 1990, formally 17761 850, amended September 30th, 1996, July 13th, 1998, and June 21st, 2004. Alright, 90. Alright, this one's the last one. And we split this up into 2 parts, so I hope this is the underground storage tank systems, petroleum underground storage tank systems, and the storage tank reform. The form of the Department of the Storage Tank System Program is adopted and incorporated with reference to this section. The form of the listed rule number, which is the form number, the subject title, the effective date, and the copies of the form maintained with the writing of the Administrator of the Storage Tank Regulations Division of Waste Management, Florida Department of Environmental Protection Action, 2600 Blair Stone Road, MS 4525, Tallahassee, Florida 32399 2400. Discharge report form, July 13th, 1998. Storage tank facility request registration form, July 13th, 1998. Certification financial responsibility for July 13, 1998. Alternative requirement procedure form, July 13, 1998. Underground storage tank installation removal from the certified contractor, July 13, 1998. Incident Notification Form, that July 13th, 1998. Monthly Statistical Inventory Reconciliation Report, July 13th, 1998. Limited Closure and Support Summary Report Form, July 13th, 1998. Authority 373-76303, Florida State Law 376-303, Implemented Florida State History News, December 10th, 1990, formerly 17761, 900, amended September 30th, 1998, July 13th, 1998, and republicated June 21st, 2004. And that concludes the underground storage tank system of the Chapter 62, 761 Florida Administration Codes.